Why you lost joy and how to get it back. When was the last time you felt real joy without apologizing for it? Do not rush past that question. Sit with it. Let it sting a little. Something happens to people when they grow up. They stop allowing joy to enter the room unless it fills out a form and proves it deserves a seat. Adults learn to hide their smiles. They work hard. They carry weight. They forget how to breathe. My name is Wason. I am a man who learned this lesson the hard way. There was a point in my life when I could feel the hours move, but I could not feel myself inside them. I woke up. I worked. I handled everything that needed to be handled. Yet somewhere along the way, joy slipped through a crack I never noticed. One day I looked around and realized I had built a serious life, but lost the part of myself that felt alive. This is Learn English Listening, a place where you sharpen your English while you rebuild your inner strength. A place for people who want more than survival, people who want to feel awake again. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something. Where are you listening from, and what hour of the day is it for you? I want you to pause and answer it in the comments. It tells me who you are. It tells me when your mind needs the most company. Today I want to take you into a truth most adults avoid. Joy does not disappear. You bury it. You bury it under responsibility, under pressure, under fear. This video is not about learning how to have fun. It is about remembering the part of you that once knew how. There is a quiet struggle that almost every adult carries. It is the feeling that you must earn every moment of pleasure. You wake up and step into a long list of duties. You push through the day with a face that looks calm, but a heart that feels tight. You keep things together for everyone around you. Yet inside, you sense a small voice asking when you last allowed yourself to feel light. People grow older and become masters at hiding the truth. They tell themselves they are fine. They tell themselves this is what being responsible looks like. But deep inside there is exhaustion. There is a heaviness that comes from living too seriously for too long. Joy becomes something you postpone, something you promise yourself after the work is done. But the work is never done, and you know it. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever stopped yourself from enjoying something because you were afraid someone might judge you? Maybe you wanted to laugh out loud but forced yourself to stay quiet. Maybe you wanted to dance in your kitchen for no reason but stopped because it felt silly. Adults do not fear joy. They fear what joy might look like to other people. I know that feeling. I once lived a life so tightly controlled that even small moments of play felt dangerous. I remember walking through an ordinary day and realizing there was nothing inside me that felt spontaneous anymore. I had traded energy for efficiency. I had traded lightness for structure. I had traded myself for a version that looked stable on the outside but felt empty on the inside. And here is the part most people never admit. The longer you ignore joy, the heavier your life begins to feel. You start waking up tired even after a full night of sleep. You stop noticing small things that once made you smile. You move through the day like you are carrying a weight that no one else can see. You tell yourself you are only tired, but deep down you know it is something else. It is the cost of living without lightness. There is also a kind of grief that forms quietly over the years. A grief for the version of yourself who used to laugh easily, who used to be curious, who used to enjoy moments without checking if they were productive. You may not talk about it, but you feel the distance between who you are and who you once were. That distance grows when life becomes only duty and never joy. There is a lie that every adult carries, a lie that shapes the entire way we live. And today, we are going to expose it. The world did not take fun away from you. You locked it up yourself. That is the truth most people never notice. Somewhere along the path into adulthood, you built an invisible cage made of expectations, pressure, and seriousness. You stepped inside it. Then you forgot the door was never locked. There is a hidden key that can change everything. I want to show it to you through 3 English phrases that reveal how joy works in the real life of an adult. The first one is joy permission. This means giving yourself the right to enjoy something without proving that you earned it. Think about singing in the car, even if you did not finish all your tasks. Think about smiling at a small moment without asking if you deserve it. Joy permission frees you from the idea that everything must have value before it can be felt. It reminds your mind that joy is a state, not a reward. The second one is emotional bandwidth. This describes the amount of emotional space you have in a single day. When your bandwidth is filled with stress, fear, pressure, and tasks, there is no room left for joy, no space for curiosity, no space for breath. Understanding this phrase allows you to see why you feel numb. It is not because you lack joy. It is because your emotional bandwidth is full of everything except joy. The third one is micro-play. These are tiny moments of lightness that take less than a minute. They are not childish. They are strategic. They are life returning to your system in small doses. It can be tapping your fingers to a rhythm while you wait in line. It can be making a funny voice when you talk to your pet. Microplay unlocks your brain and creates energy you thought you no longer had. There is something powerful that happens when you truly understand these ideas. You realize that joy was never random. It always followed patterns inside your mind. Joy. Permission breaks the invisible barrier that tells you to stay serious. Emotional bandwidth shows you why you feel exhausted even on quiet days. Microplay reminds you that your brain does not need grand adventures to wake up. It only needs sparks. Once you see these patterns, you cannot unsee them. You begin to understand why your days feel heavy even when nothing dramatic happens. You begin to understand why people who laugh more often seem lighter, not because their lives are easier, but because their minds are more open. When these ideas click, it feels like someone turned a light on inside a room you forgot existed. Everything looks different. Here is the moment of clarity. You do not need more time. You need more permission. There comes a point when a person has to face the truth. You cannot keep living a serious life and expect joy to appear out of nowhere. I reached that point on an ordinary day. I remember standing in my kitchen, feeling like a machine instead of a man. Something inside me whispered that I had forgotten how to feel alive. That was the moment I understood that joy does not enter your life because you deserve it. It enters because you allow it. Joy is fuel, not a reward. A day without joy is like a vehicle without gas. You keep moving because you must, but every part of you feels heavier, slower, older. People think joy is optional, but it is not. It is a power source. Without it, everything becomes harder than it should be. I want you to imagine something. Imagine what would change if you allowed yourself 30 seconds of real fun today. Just 30 seconds. No planning, no guilt, no explanations. How would your body feel? How would your mind shift? How would the rest of your day unfold? Let me ask you something gentle. If you could bring back just one thing you enjoyed as a child, what would it be? Say it out loud. Write it in the comments. That simple act opens a door you did not know was still there. Adulthood did not erase your joy. It only buried it under obligations you never questioned. The weight you carry is real, but the belief that you must live without joy is not. You can choose something different. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind settle for a moment. Here is the truth I want you to remember. You are not broken. You are simply out of practice. Joy is a skill you stopped using, but it is still inside you, waiting for you to reach for it again. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need a break from life. You do not need to earn the right to feel light. Joy does not require permission from anyone but you. Joy is not weakness. Joy is intelligence choosing to breathe. The lessons are simple. Joy does not need a reason. Joy does not require perfection. Joy did not disappear. It is only hidden under layers of pressure you never meant to carry. You can lift those layers one moment at a time. At this moment, you stand between comfort and growth. Which path will you take? Ask yourself that question honestly. Your answer shapes the rest of your day, maybe even the rest of your life. If this video gave you something meaningful, share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And subscribe to keep walking with us on this journey of English and self-growth. We build this place for people who want clarity, people who want courage, people who want to feel alive again. Fun is not childish. Fun is intelligence choosing to breathe. Start today.